Hi everyone, this is Anna Finch from Finch Press Publishing. Hope everyone's had a good day. Now today's video is a review of Prowriting Aid. Now Prowriting Aid is a online program similar to Grammarly, in that it analyzes your writing and it suggests ways of improving it. It's actually very in-depth. It provides an in-depth analysis of your writing. It breaks it down into multiple categories for suggestions. The actual program, there's a web editor, which will actually allow you to edit on in Prowriting Aid using like Google Chrome or Safari. You can get a software integration for MS, Outlook, Microsoft Word, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, OpenOffice, Scrivener. You can even get an extension for Scrivener, and Google Docs. Now, I have mainly just used it in the I've mainly just used it within the actual app that you can access on the website. Now with Prowriting Aid, so it has a lot of features, and there are different versions you can access. Now, like a month or 2 months ago, there was like discounts in the stuff because of COVID. So they were promoting their software to encourage people to write and things. Now, this particular program, it doesn't just suggest things for editing, as in like grammar, spelling. It also gives suggestions to improve things like style, strength of writing, things like homonyms and all that sort of stuff. So it covers a whole range of things. Now I will show you a number of features as well. So right now we're on the Prowriting Aid website. Now if you did wish to purchase it, there are many options available to you. So you've got Prowriting Aid Free, you've got Prowriting Aid Premium, Premium Plus. Now you can access it. You can actually do your editing through the app that comes with the website, or you can do it through an integration if you get the paid version. Now, a positive with this is that, one, it's more detailed than Grammarly, but also if you were to go, say, click on Prowriting Aid Premium, it's actually possible to choose how you want to pay for it. So you can choose to pay per month. You can pay per year. It is cheaper to do it per year because you only pay $80. Or you get lifetime access to Prowriting Aid. So you just pay one licensing fee, and you can use it as many times as you want. You can use it on any device that it works on. So it works on Mac, it works on PC. I'm pretty sure it will work on your iPad as well. So it allows you to access this using whatever software you want, and you get a lifetime fee. You can do that same with the Premium Plus. So you can get Premium Plus and you can get a lifetime Premium Plus, which basically means you get the basic features with the editing. You also get plagiarism checker, so up to 50 plagiarism checks, which is really good for those who do non-fiction. So if you write a lot of non-fiction text, or if you do newspaper articles, or if you do blogs about current events and things like that, then the Prowriting Aid with the plagiarism checker would be really useful for you. So they've got that, which is something Grammarly doesn't have. So when it comes to the features of the programs, Prowriting Aid wins, hands down. Even the free version of Prowriting Aid is a lot better. I found it a lot better than Grammarly, in that you can choose what style of writing you want to do. So you can pick Australian English, US, UK English, general standard English. I think Canadian English is an option. I can't remember. But you can pick and choose the language. You can choose the writing style. So you can pick creative. You can pick fictional. I believe there's also an option for there's a couple of options for non-fiction as well, and different styles. I'm actually going to show you app for Prowriting Aid using a short story I wrote that I haven't published. I'm potentially may turn into a novella. So as you can see from the screen, you've got a little timer which has a red circle, and it's real time, and it tells you, as it scans, it tells you how many issues in specific categories it's found. So grammar issues, style, spelling, whole range of stuff. So you've got that, and it basically is just overall issues that are in the text. Now this is about 6,000 words, or nearly 10,000 words. You can click on summary, and it basically explains it basically creates a report explaining the different issues with the text, positives. So basically it provides it's similar to the critique you get from an editor that is computer generated based on your current writing. So if you have a look. Now, I actually wrote this story when I was in high school. I think I was in year 10. So it tells you document score. So it tells you your overall score. It tells you what your grammar is like. So my grammar in this apparently is pretty terrible. Spelling. It tells you style. It tells you things that you need to fix. So this is the key action. So it tells you, okay, you've got a lot of filler words, you need to remove a lot of filler words. It tells you, I thought it was actually longer. It tells you your word count, how many sentences, paragraphs you have, unique words, word families, most used words. It also tells you your readability, so what level of readability you can. So for example, if you look at the grades, so in this particular short story, the level of language is easy to read for a grade 5 or grade 6 student, so end of primary. So someone who's finished primary, maybe about to enter high school or middle school. So it's fairly easy to read. In this case, it shows you how many paragraphs are easy to read, which ones are slightly difficult, how many very difficult paragraphs you got, overused words, a whole range of things. And it gives you suggestions on how to fix. So this is what you get from an editor. You can also click on general things like style, and it will generate a specific report. And it tells you what things you've got. So it breaks it down. Grammarly doesn't do this. So Grammarly just says this particular sentence is too wordy, or this needs to be broken up, or add a comma here. It doesn't really tell you the actual issues document-wise or story-wise. It just gives you suggestions, gives you grammar. This Prowriting Aid looks at grammar, it looks at echoes, so if you repeated yourself, structure. So there's a whole range of features that you can get from this. It also looks at cliches, so how many cliches you have in your writing, which is really good. homonyms, so to check if you used the wrong word. Dialogue, so things like dialogue tags, consistency in your punctuation, grammar, and everything. You can look at pacing. Okay, which is really good. So this is basically a program you could use as an editor, and it will work. Now, this is what I mentioned earlier. You can pick your language. So you got general, English, British, US, Australian, Canadian. You can pick a general, style, academic, business. So if you want to use this for like your essays for like uni and all that, you can actually do it, and it will look at your particular style of writing. So when it comes to that, it's really good. It's fairly easy to use. It's fairly easy to use when you're learning. So it's not that hard. I didn't find it too hard learning how to use this. The program is fairly easy to use. So I've talked about all the features for Prowriting Aid. I'm just going to go over quickly or briefly positives. You can pay per month or per year if you wanted to renew it. So you only pay for whatever you use. So if you're only going to use it for a month, you pay for a month and that's it. Another positive is if you want to, you can get a lifetime subscription and you don't have to pay anything more unless you want to upgrade it from premium to premium plus. So it has a plagiarism checker or something like that. You have a lot of options when it comes to editing. It gives you a lot of options and feedback in how to improve, that you can use to improve your writing rather than just at a sentence or paragraph level. It is fairly easy to learn how to use within an app or within like an integration, so using integration software. So it's fairly easy to use. It's the design of it. It's easy to figure out what works and like how it works and things like that. So it's easy to use and easy to navigate. The language in it and the information, the way it's set out, is fairly easy to read as well. It looks at a whole range of things. So I can look at it and figure out if my pacing's too slow in certain areas. I can look at it, see if I've used a lot of cliches, if the language I've used is too difficult for the age group that I'm writing for. I can check my grammar, my spelling. I can check homonyms, because sometimes I will write one word that sounds the same as another, and I've put the wrong one in the sentence. So that helps. It actually highlights every single word that is a homonym. When you click on the option for homonyms, and you can go through it and read the sentence and check individually whether or not that particular homonym is the correct one for the context of your sentence, which is good, because I've occasionally in Voiceless, when I was doing NaNoWriMo, doing my first draft, I wrote C as in S-E-E instead of C as in S-E-A, and vice versa. I've written a couple of other words, homonyms, in the wrong order, and a whole range of things. It's fairly cheap when it comes to... It's cheaper than Grammarly in the long run, because you can get a license. I'm pretty sure the yearly one is free. You can get a plagiarism checker. You can even just buy credits for plagiarism checker if you just use the premium version. So if you've written one non-fiction ebook that you need fact checked or checked for plagiarism, because you've had a ghostwriter write it, then it's easy to get the credits for it and just check the entire document. So you don't have to worry about has my ghostwriter plagiarized this. have I accidentally plagiarized? It will check it for you. It's similar to Turnitin, which is what unis use when you submit essays and things, at least in Australia. And that would be my phone going off. Now, couple of downsides. Prowriting Aid occasionally will change something that it identified as either a grammatical error or something as like something to improve readability and things like that. It will sometimes change whatever they've highlighted into the option, that the first option that they gives you, without you clicking on it. At least it did it with me in the app that I use in the browser. It sometimes gave me suggestions that are grammatically incorrect, not just for Australian English, I mean in general, for any English. It mistakes spelling. So I'm an Australian. Now, Australian spelling is weird. It's a mix of both British and American. So a lot of our spelling follows the British style of spelling, but we use some words and spellings the same as Americans, and sometimes we use American spelling in our work instead of Australian spelling, and vice versa, and things like that. The word colour, I wrote it the same way as in Australia we write it as COLOUR, same as the British, and I was in the Australian English for the settings. It said UK spelling and change to, and it wanted me to change it to the US spelling despite being in Australian spelling. Same with the word realised. In Australia we spell it with a Z. In the US they spell it with an S. It's the same with defence. We spell it with a C and they spell it with an S in practice and all that. So we use different spellings, and Prowriting has suggested a spelling that's English from the US, and it says, yeah, this is the correct one for the Australian English, which it isn't. So that was not so great. Another thing, it doesn't help with tenses. My developmental editor pointed this out, and I've looked at my own writing, not just my past writing, but current writing. I write the way I speak, and I sometimes change tenses midway through a sentence. I might change tenses like 5 times within a sentence, or 5 times within like 2 minutes of talking. So identifying the correct tense myself, despite being an English teacher, in my own writing, I didn't notice it until my editor pointed it out, and even then sometimes I still don't notice it. And I got this program because it was recommended and it was pretty good, so I bought it. I bought the lifetime access, and because I had all these features, I thought, great, it's got grammar on there. It's from all the feedback I've heard, it's pretty good. It's based on the price and the way it's all set out, it should be better than Grammarly. Most cases it is. And I thought, okay, right, when I spot something for the tenses, I can change it and it can pick up the tenses. It doesn't. So Prowriting Aid does not identify tenses. At least not that I've noticed. It will not identify the tense. I have looked at a particular chapter and realised, oh crap, I have got each paragraph in a different tense. As I'm going through it, editing it, I look at in Prowriting Aid, and I look to see if like the grammar checker is like identifying anything. Nothing. It doesn't identify. I'm like, doesn't identify the change in tense. Grammarly does. I change a word or the tense of a word in a sentence, it will give me a suggestion for the whole sentence in a particular tense. And I can just click on it and it's done. So Grammarly picks up tenses. Prowriting Aid doesn't. Not that I've noticed. Another downside is if you don't write a lot, or you don't need all these features. So if you just need a basic grammar checker, then this Grammarly is better. If you just need a basic grammar checker for like emails and just like business messages and things like that, Grammarly, the free Grammarly, works well. For novels, this can work pretty well. This works well because it covers a whole range of areas for writing. But the issue is if you don't like using the app, if you've got the premium and you want to integrate it into, say, Scrivener or Google Docs, the integration, at least the Google Docs integration, is crap. For long documents, for novels, 90,000 word novel, using Prowriting Aid in Google Docs is a nightmare. It will crash. It will not give me it took 5 minutes for a summary of the story to load, whereas in the app it took, again, even in the app, uploading the 90,000 word novel is a lot. So it actually separated my novel into chapters, because if it put it all in one document like it is, it won't, it will take too long to edit. So the time it takes to edit a complete document, it takes a while. So there are good things and bad things when it comes to Prowriting Aid. I mean, I like it more than Grammarly in most cases, because it covers a whole range of things that I need to work on. It doesn't cover tenses, but it covers a whole range of things like descriptive language and all that sort of stuff. So it can tell me how my writing is going. And I'm definitely going to need this with the book I'm writing with my brother, because that book, I've noticed a whole bunch of cliches when it comes to the plot. So I'm going to need that. But overall, with Prowriting Aid, it's a decent piece of software that is sold for a decent price, that you can pay a one-off rather than having to renew every month or every year, because Grammarly doesn't have a lifetime option. You have to renew it. It's a subscription. You have to renew it. That option doesn't exist. So if you are like me and you prefer to just pay it once and then basically forget about it and just use it whenever you want it, rather than having to remember to pay for it every single month, or having to remember to have enough money on your card to pay for it every single year. If you know what I mean, you prefer to pay a one-off payment and just use it whenever you want and don't have to worry about it, Prowriting Aid is fantastic. If you do edit novels or particularly non-fiction, if you edit or write non-fiction, I would recommend Prowriting Aid rather than Grammarly. Even though it breaks down larger documents into smaller pieces, if you write non-fiction, the amount of options available in Prowriting Aid suit non-fiction better than fiction. But it's still a decent piece of software. It's pretty good. It's especially good for the price. It's just if you write in Scrivener or Google Docs, the integration software may not be good for the program you're using. But again, you can access it on multiple sites, so you're not in multiple different devices. So unlike with Grammarly, who's only just started doing a beta version of their Google Chrome extension, or the Google Docs extension for Mac, so it's not perfected yet. This works, so this is pretty good. Okay, that's pretty much it. Sorry for the very long video. Let me know what you think if you've used Prowriting Aid before. Yeah, I would like to hear what you think. See ya.